It's Saturday. It's time to talk about the very best new comic books this week. And with me, as always, is Drew from Comics Elite, who's got a brand new project on Kickstarter live right now, Unholy Nightmare. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing great, Wes. Yeah, the project is doing very well for what it is right now. Aurelio Mazzara and I, we have Unholy Nightmare #1 on Kickstarter. We're currently at $22.06, almost halfway to our goal of $5,000. You guys do not want to miss out on this. This is going to be one of the best comics you're ever going to read this year, if not next year as well. But, Wes, let's talk about some great comics this week.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, if you are interested, there is a link in the video description. But let's start out with the new comic books. And I want to talk about Ultimate Universe #1, Jonathan Hickman, Stefano Caselli on this one. And this really is the launch of the new Ultimate Universe. Ultimate Invasion was kind of explaining how the maker brought the Ultimate Universe back. But I think there are a lot of really interesting things going on here. I know that you don't completely agree with me, but I was really inspired by the art by Stefano Caselli. I love it when he's working. He needs more work. And I thought Jonathan Hickman, while this is a table setter of an issue, there's just enough action and there's certainly enough intrigue about what all these new versions of these heroes are that have had their origins essentially removed from them. And then we have the team of Dr. Doom, Thor, and Iron Man going out there and trying to right the world the best way that they can.
Well, actually, I think it's Iron Lad. I think this is the son of Howard Stark, so I think they call him Iron Lad in this, unless that was a joke. I thought it was okay. You know, it wasn't great for me. It wasn't bad. Like I said, very much this is a setup issue. It's a lot of setup, for reintroducing the Ultimate Universe. So don't go into this expecting a lot of action. I was expecting something fun and kinetic, but it was okay. He's really building the universe here. And the art is good. I did enjoy it. There's a lot of questions being raised in this, as well as like a lot of these new characters coming up. I liked what happened. I really like Thor in this, but it takes a turn with Thor in this I didn't see coming and didn't want to come. But yeah, it's an interesting read. I really truly, but it wasn't fun for me, and I really truly hope Ultimate Spider-Man is fun when we get to that, because that's what I want. It's good. So if you really want to see the universe being created here, you want to see the seeds being planted, this is the issue for it.
And he certainly plants a couple of ideas here, like they've discovered a Captain America that is recently frozen. So this is in the early career of Captain America, where we have other characters that have fully gone in different directions. There's a weird version of Hulk here, weird versions of Moon Knight, Magic, and some other characters, while the maker, I guess, has gone into some type of Forbidden City and left Jamie Braddock, Captain Britain, in charge. And he's pretty much full on evil. But I think it really sets the table up here to where you're going to get to discover how he removed the origin from the hero that you loved and how they're going to give it back to him. I find that somewhat exciting. I think it's an exciting concept, and I am looking forward to Ultimate Spider-Man, and I imagine we'll be getting that new origin before the end of this thing. And I felt like this was a lot more interesting than Ultimate Universe, although at the end we do get like the Jonathan Hickman world-building thing where you do get the images of how the world has been changed and shaped by the maker himself.
Yeah, at the very end we get to see the map of the globe where certain people are, how there's a lot of these superpowers throughout the globe, and things are just different enough to where they are like interesting, like you said, and I really can't wait to see the twists he's going to make along the way with some of these origins, because we have a lot of preconceived notions about where these characters are going to go. Now, if Jonathan Hickman goes into that thinking we know where they're going to go and makes those left-hand turns, that's going to be fun, because we're not going to see that coming. And I really can't wait to see some of the twists he's going to make along the way with some of these characters. And like you said, I can't wait to see what happens with Captain America. I hope this isn't the last we see of Thor or Iron Lad or Iron Man, however he is, and Dr. Doom, because I want to see more of Dr. Doom in this. He looks so cool in this.
My only real gripe about the comic book is that it's $6, and I don't think what's delivered here really is $6 worthy. It's not that much bigger than a normal comic book. And certainly there's enough filler in here that you could probably remove it and make it 24 pages like another one.
Yeah, and and another case in point, go back to Ultimate Invasion, like how much that issue was, or Gods, just how much those cost. Those were not worth the extra few extra bucks or more extra bucks. They were okay at best. And they really need to be cautious at this price point. I really think Marvel thinks people are going to be dropping a lot of this money on here because of the namesake of Jonathan Hickman. But they really need to focus on more more substance in these books than just the name Jonathan Hickman selling it.
So it sounds like I'm a bit higher on Ultimate Universe than you are, but you're still going to continue on?
Yeah, I'm going to continue on. Yes, because I have hope for the future of for this, and I do, because I'm excited from the premise of Ultimate Spider-Man. It looks like it should be fun. I love Marco Cicchetto, and so I'll be there, and I want to see this new Captain America. That's what I want to see.
So let's move over to the indie comic book scene, and here's something that's not a whole lot of fun. The Sacrificers #4, Rick Remender, Max Fumera on art on this one. This has much less tension, for me at least, in the first 3 issues, as they really kind of flesh out what all these gods are doing and their perspective on this ultimate elixir that they get, I guess, from the happy memories of the sacrificers themselves. But it definitely hit me in the feel spots, seeing the Pigeon family and the turmoil and angst that they're going through as a family, realizing we gave up our brother, we gave up our son, to the gods or whatever, and they're very worried about it. So while there might not be the tension that there was in the first 3 issues, I think this is no less fantastic.
Yeah, like you said, the tension really isn't there as much as it was in the previous issues, especially the last issue before this one. Oh my God, the ending of that, it really got me. But yeah, this one is more, introspective, if you will, because we really see the gods themselves, bringing up, like, why are we doing this? The purpose of the elixir, are we worthy of this? Should we be taking this? And we see kind of juxtaposed as well the effects of those being sacrificed with the bird people, the father of the young bird guy, and how upset he is that he's been sacrificed and he's not partying and celebrating like everyone else is. And he doesn't like that. But we also see, like, juxtaposed with the rich, wealthy gods. And some of them are asking, should we be doing this? Why are we doing this? It's good stuff. It's not original, but it's good. It's really good. And the ending, I kind of should have foreseen a certain character would be kind of thrust to the front. But I'm hoping Rick Remender plays it very carefully with this female character, because it can go either way very damn quick. And I'm a little more cautious now on the future of this series, but it's still a very good issue.
Absolutely, and Rick Remender will try and rip your heart out next issue. I'm certain of it. Mm-hmm. Another independent comic book debuting, Blood Commandment #1, Image Comics. Simon Kudranski writing and illustrating this one. Kudranski has a very, very specific, definable art style that doesn't look like really anything else out there. And he's definitely writing in his horror element here. I haven't personally checked this one out, but I did see the art, and it does look very intriguing. What the hell's going on here?
I mean, it's a very, very interesting series. And I think he's building up the mystery of this book. And he's building a cool, unique universe here, especially with his father and son, that I really want to know what's going on. And what makes this issue very cool is that we actually see a father being a good father to his son, and his son asking a lot of questions about life, about death, God. And the father, that's what kids do. Kids ask a lot of questions, Wes, as I'm sure you're probably familiar with. Kids are very curious. They want to know the answers to stuff. And we get a lot of that in this. And there's a page in here in particular that's kind of long. There's a lot of dialogue on it. But it's father and son just going back and forth, talking about life, death, God, afterlife. And it's good stuff because it feels real, it feels true. But toward the end of this, we do see the monstrous turn, and it gets very dark. It gets kind of bloody, and it's got me very curious about where we're going to go to next. Because Simon, he's a great, great artist, and this is his wheelhouse, horror, and I love horror. So you could do a heck of a lot worse than Blood Commandment #1. Please do check this out.
And that's a big debut this week that we will be recommending here on the channel. Drew absolutely loves the horror things. Shockingly, his Unholy Nightmare is also a horror book. Now let's go over to Marvel Comics. And I know you're going to disagree with me, but I'm going to recommend Avengers #7, Jed MacKay, CF Via. And this is not the most overwhelmingly powerful recommend in the world. We just got finished with the very first story arc. We're moving into something different after the Ashen Combine or whatever have been defeated. And we start out and all these things are happening. I'm noticing that Carol Danvers is in her like Miss Marvel uniform, and she looks quite sexy. And there's all these things happening, and it looks like Vision is dead, and Scarlet Witch is losing her mind. You're like, where did this all come from? It turns out not everything is as it appears, but it's certainly caging that this next Avengers story or perhaps this Avengers run is going to be very much about Wanda. The bad part is most of what you read in here doesn't really matter, but I'm willing to accept it because it was this exciting opening. I do like Nightmare. I don't know what's going on at the end when we have like the Kang and all that kind of stuff and the Covenant of whatever it is that comes out that they teased in Timeless last year. But it's probably one of the better Avengers issues I've read in a couple of years.
Yes, I will agree with you there. It is one of the better ones in the past couple of years. And honestly, I'd probably say a heck of a lot longer than that. But it's not as good as the Paul Levitz, Alan Davis Avengers were across time. Like you said, how this opens up the first 18 pages of this book. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. We got consequences. We got death. We got our heroes failing. It's like, what? What is going on here? This is like a foreign concept right now in Marvel Comics. But then when you get to that page toward the end, it's like, oh, you son of a, you just cut out, you just nixed those beautiful 20 pages. I could not believe it. Wanted to rip the book in half. But I did like the very last page. I have a raised eyebrow. I'm very curious about where it goes. I really do hope we see some of these consequences. I know we won't see all of them, but I really do hope we see some of these heroes get their comeuppance because they've really been written like assholes. Sorry, for the last few years. They kind
You're rooting against the heroes?
I honestly I am, because they have not been written as heroes. Really, they've been written as just a-holes, really, the past few years by Jason Aaron. And I'm very tired of that. And they have it coming. And I really want to see Jen McKay really put them through the ringer, because that's what I want to see: heroes failing and struggling. I like to see that and overcoming from those failures. And I really hope we really truly see that, because he's hinting at something big here. If we don't get that big thing, I'm going to be disappointed.
I was not disappointed by the revelation that Carol Danvers looked much better as Miss Marvel, and that was definitely a treat in this comic book. Let's move over to DC, because we actually have 2 comic books to talk about there. I'm shocked that I'm recommending Detective Comics 1076. Ram V, Jason Sean Alexander on art here, and definitely thank you very much for putting a good artist on this book. I haven't really enjoyed the Ram V Detective Comics run. It's kind of boring. It feels meandering and going nowhere. But this is the beginning of a heist book where we have Bruce Wayne, Batman, captured. He's got the Asmar demon in his head that's trying to remove all of his memories and all of his senses and everything. In fact, you've got Barbados and Batman kind of working together to kind of fight him off as he holds on to what is dear to him. At the same time, we've got Catwoman putting a team together to actually go in and save him before he's actually executed, because the public are being led around like a bunch of sheep or whatever. And the team idea, I think, is cool. I think Catwoman, Commissioner Gordon, Montoya, Poison Ivy, I kind of like the team they're getting together. And I like seeing people stand up for Batman. It feels completely disconnected from Batman, the actual series, but in a good way. And this is the best issue of Detective Comics Ram V has done.
I completely agree. Like you said, his whole run so far has been boring, very much sleep-inducing. And this issue woke me up. I'm reading this and I'm like, whoa, holy crap, we got stakes now. Something's actually happening. Batman's going to be killed? What? And the art in this is terrific too. I really, really dug the art in this book. It's amazing. And I really, truly hope we get to see more of Azrael in this, because he has a truly badass moment in this when he's talking to some criminals. Love it. And there's a great moment with Jim Gordon at this bar. You really just kind of see it, like more or less how far he's fallen, and it's pretty sad. And I really, truly hope we see him rise to the occasion. We could see Jim Gordon be the hero that he can be. But yeah, I will say, like we brought up earlier, this is the palate cleanser right now to what's going on with the main Batman series by Chip Zdarsky. Whereas that's blatantly stupid. This is just good. This is just straight up good. And you're not going to be condescending. You're not going to be condescended to like Chip Zdarsky is treating his readers. This is going to be. I'm really expecting big things from this. From after this issue, the characters in play, I dig it. The impending death of Batman. This actually looks like this could maybe happen, but we'll see what happens. Do check this out, guys. You're not going to be disappointed with this issue of Detective Comics like the previous ones.
Hopefully Ram V can keep up the momentum and keep the story moving along, because it was a breath of fresh air just with Batman and certainly with Detective Comics. Our final recommendation is the return of Superman 30th Anniversary Special. Dan Jurgens, Louise Simonson, Carl Kessel, Jerry Ordway got all the artists back together very much like the Death of Superman 30th anniversary book that they did several months back. And it's got a main story by Dan Jurgens that kind of connects them all together, talking about the legacy of Superman and the appearance of the reign of Supermen, where these 4 different versions of Superman showed up. I particularly like the Steel story. I thought that was really cool. Easily the best one in here. I definitely like the art as well. I like that it had page numbers on it. Thank you very much. Please continue doing that. Follow John Bogdanov's fucking example. Throw some page numbers in the corner. And if you like the Reign of Superman, if you like the Death of Superman, and you like anthology books, I think for $10, it's too much. It should be $8. It should not be a $10 book. But this was very well executed, and I think a lot of people will like it. I
do completely agree with you with what you just said. This should be $8, not $10. The teams involved in this, they got everyone back. I could not believe that. John Bogdanov, if you look at his art now compared to when he did it back in 1994, it looks almost exactly the same. It's ridiculous. He has not lost his touch at all. And yet Weezy writing it as well. I was transported back to being a 10-year-old again. I had so much fun reading it. It was great seeing those characters back. I love that era of Superman. The storytelling is so fun. And the through line, that was probably the one point where I'm like, I guess it had me wonder what happened to Perry White. I forgot. I don't know what happened to him. I don't think they said what happened to him in the through line. Maybe I missed it, but I did like the side story. I really did love the Steel story. That is arguably, like you said, arguably the best. And that was primetime Steel. That was when he was written the best by Weezy. If you want to see a great Superman book with, the all-stars working on the book, this is the one right here, and it is amazing. Please do check this book out, guys.
Definitely enjoyed that one. Didn't know what to expect, but I should have, because they had the 30th anniversary of Death of Superman. This is very much in that vein. If you enjoy that comic book, you're probably going to like this one. And it's been not a great week in comic books, but there are things happening on the horizon that shall be great. Now, Drew, you do have Unholy Nightmare live right now on Kickstarter. There is a link in the video description. If somebody's out there and they're unsure, what kind of comic book readers are going to want to get this book? Whose wheelhouse is this in?
If you love the exact opposite of Ram V, if you love the exact opposite of the current Batman run, you are going to enjoy this. This is fast-paced, action-packed. I do not talk down to the readers. I do not talk down to any of you. You're going to have so much fun reading this. By the time you get to the end of this comic of Unholy Nightmare, #1, you're going to be like, oh my God, I got to go back, reread it again. Did all this just actually happen in 26 pages? Holy crap. Heroes becoming monsters. They're fighting other monsters. What is going on here? Your mind is going to be blown. You're not going to want to wait for the second issue. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed by the quality, the amount of time, the effort, the literal blood, sweat, and tears Aurelio Mazzara and I have put into this book. This is worth every bang for your buck. And once people read this, they're going to be thinking to themselves, you know what? This probably should be the book of the year, right? Honestly, I'm humble bragging right now. It really, truly is. But if you have any questions right now, if you have any doubts about Unholy Nightmare, please reach out to me. I want to do whatever I can to put you into this book. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. Just message me if you got any questions. If you want any sketches, head commissions, Aurelio's doing them. We're offering chances for you to be drawn into the book. You can be a character in the book. We've got 3 spots left. You have a chance to win original art by the beginning of next week. Please do check out Unholy Nightmare, guys. Worth every bang for your buck.